not everyone in the hobby is in Colorado. So like I could post it on all the groups, right? Like, oh, World Ball Pythons, like, hey, come to Colorado. And it's like 20 people from Colorado, maybe.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't just us. Howdy, folks. Brian Cusco here at the Redline Report. And today we're going to sit down with Nick Sloan from the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. One of the partners, along with Troy Schroeder and their wives, who put it on, Lauren and Lisa. And we're going to talk about how it is here at the second show and what to expect from future shows and church, even though we're going to experience some power outages along the way. You're watching Redline Report.
Herod, during Jesus' time, was killing all those kids to try to stop Jesus from existing. And like who in this generation is going to be that powerful that they're trying?
Coming from the clouds this time or no?
I don't know. Thief in the night. I mean, he says he's going to come like a thief in the night. And then it says that he will lead an army after of those who stay. So like, we're not all supposed to be just taken up. Like some of us are going to have to be here and fight some armies that follow the beast, which is wild to think. Closer.
Yeah, or you can move it to you, so you don't have to lean in. Yeah. That's why I'm stoked about these new things. Like, last time you don't have to like get up on the table. You just I can come back here and be like, yeah, what's up, man?
Just relax, show off the beer belly,
show it off. Oh yeah, the game of 21 yesterday. That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah. We're doing some fun stuff this time around. I mean, it was fun last time too, but we're doing more. Like we had the push-up challenge. We played some pickleball. I got to share my testimony with you and Lauren, and that was awesome.
That was. I love that Nikki was there.
Yeah. Nikki was feeling it.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah. When you don't know what the spirit is and you feel it and you're just like crying, you're like, why am I feeling this?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
That was pretty cool. Just as cool as like the fact that we started talking about having church at those and the power went pew again. But yeah, no, I'm pretty encouraged by it. It's kind of challenged me a bit because I'm not a pastor.
Yeah.
I'm not trained, but I've studied a bit, but it's also what it's done is encouraged me to study a bit more, so that I can kind of know at least some things.
Yeah.
And then God has been showing up in some cool ways at the other shows where I've been having service. Yeah. Oh, you were there in Daytona.
Yeah.
Like Glenn showing up the last couple times.
Yes.
Pastor of 40 years at Glenn Reptiles.
Yeah.
And just
which is awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I want it to be like important. It's obviously like, I think we when we did it last time, like some vendors walked up and they're like, "Oh, I have to be here?" And we're like, "No, of course not." And they're like, "Okay," and they walked away. And it's like, but I want that to start to like culture that too. And then if you walk in here, like I want the spirit to be felt. And I'll admittedly like say like my faith isn't what it was, and I work on that every day, just like all of us work on it every single day. And that's where God, I think, was like, Cusco's you got to bring him over, bring him in, because then you can work together in that and build each other up in that and get there. And like, I mean, even pastors don't have the whole answer.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, I want to be ready and stuff, but at the same time, I know it's not up to me.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
the words that are going to come out of your mouth are not your words.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I say things that I'm like, oh.
I've gotten a bit better at it, having the time and just coming to realization of what is happening out there with people. I had a pretty cool moment this morning where I was sitting and chatting with some folks, and it seemed so apparent to me that there was like a lack, of the spirit, and just based on a few things that were said and that were happening. But I didn't have this like, oh well, like I didn't feel judgy or whatsoever. I felt compassionate.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was feeling for it. And I wanted to sit in and listen and hear where and why and like what is really going on with folks. So
yeah,
because otherwise you can't. I'm definitely not a fan of just like trying to beat people over the head.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's is effective. And I think maybe in some respects it could be like somebody does need to maybe be beat over the head a little bit, but I think that doesn't help in the moment.
And I think what the cool thing, like the best thing that I ever learned, and I don't trust me, I'm not perfect. Like I find myself being like, "Why are you doing this?" and being upset. But this show has helped me so much to be like, we're all our own people. We all are in our own world. We are doing something that we think is right, or that we think is affecting us ourselves. And they're not being a jerk to you because they just decided they don't like you. They're being a jerk because something else is in them that is hurting them, and that. So in the Bible, like it talks about it, right? Like it talks about Jesus says, like if you have a problem with each other, you go. It has to be Christian. Like you can't have a problem with somebody that's not Christian. Like if you can't tell them they're wrong, you can't go to them and say, no, you're doing the wrong thing, because they don't follow Jesus. They don't know. You can't be like, oh, this is a sin. They don't know yet. So if you go tell them, it's not going to help them. Like we're called to call each other out in it, and we're supposed to go to each other first and hey, this is what I see you're doing, right? Like me and you can do this. I think this is what you're doing. And if you were like, no, that's not what I'm doing, I come again and I say, hey, that's what you're doing. No, that's not what I'm doing. Then you may bring the church and be like, hey, this is what you're doing, and then it can go from there. But like as far as people that are not believers, we're not called to tell them they're wrong. That's the one thing that gets forgotten so much. They don't have conviction. They don't have the Spirit to tell them that they're wrong. Like we do, but it's not going to fix them.
I think our job there, right, is just to love on them as much as possible.
Yeah. Because we're wrong. No one is good.
Like there you go. That's funny thing. That's Romans 3:23 was going to be the focus tomorrow. So.
Yeah. So, like the word "good," like we see when God like, and this is good. That's the only time He's ever said it's like when He created man. Then this is good. This is really good. But the word "good" is derived from God. Like none of us are supposed to be good. Something off.
I need to fix it so I can see that light. No, we're good. Very good.
I was like, uh-oh.
We're very good.
Another one. But like the word good is meant to be like God is the only one that is good. Like none of us are good. That word isn't what we thought it meant. Like, oh, it's a good kid. It's not what it means. They're a good kid in the way that we talk about it now, but the word good is not what that is meant to be. None of us are good. I'm not.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What is good? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one I've been pondering a lot recently. It's like, oh, what is good? People will say, well, the conversations I've had recently, like folks are like, I don't know about any of that. I just try my best to be a good person.
Yeah.
It's like I don't see wrong in that. Like, it's a great aspiration to want to be a good person.
Yeah.
For sure. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What is good?
What is good to them?
No. What is good?
Yeah, but like technically, none of us are supposed to have. We're good. We can be morally better to ourselves because our ideas are all different. Even Christianity. Look at all the sects and all the denominations and all that. None of us can really decide on what the true thing is that to be the perfect person, because we can't be the perfect person.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of grace in that.
Yeah.
Not to expect yourself too much from yourself. You'll be able to give yourself that grace to be like, I'm not good, but I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to be. We want to be like Jesus. We'll never be him.
That was a cool thing that somebody shared with me last weekend. I think I told you this the other night, where this guy goes around sharing the gospel as much as possible, but he just says, he doesn't try to get very religious or like say, he doesn't even say that he's Christian. He just says that I'm just trying to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard.
One of my favorite things that I need to be better at now, but I like in the early walk of my faith, like really called out to me, was James 1:19, and it's be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Like the best way to show someone you love them is just listen to them. And I think we see it a lot more. Like I'm sure you've seen it more now as you've walked in your faith. Like people just tell you stuff. You're like, why are you telling me this?
Well, I've had that. That was I think the gift that he gave me from the beginning, because I've had that for most of my life.
Yeah.
People just tell me stuff. But then before I didn't really know what to do with it. I was just like, I'm just going to listen, and that
Yeah.
I'll learn. I did a lot of learning.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's different.
Yeah.
What happens while I'm listening, like the things that are going through my head, and like
Yeah.
the prayer that ends up happening, even while I'm listening.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's definitely like the adding it into the show, right? Like having the church service. You don't have to come. It's great. I would love for you to be there because I want to be able to talk to you and listen and learn. But the fires I've had to put out today, right, has given me the opportunity to say, how can I think how this person's thinking, and how can grace come into this? Because like both sides are always wrong. Like if there's an altercation between two people, both sides have something they're doing that is wrong, right? Quote unquote. I'm not going to tell them they're wrong, but there's something that it's wrong. But then there's something that's truth on their side and why they're right. And so listening to both, right? Like where can I find the right, and how can I bring it to both people without, again, we're not supposed to tell people that are not Christian, hey, you're wrong, you're doing this wrong. Like, how can I do that and show them just love? And then maybe they see something, right? Like as you walk away, like we had an issue earlier, and I was talking to one of our vendors, and she was walking with me, and she's like, just thank you for listening. Like that you're doing this phenomenally because you just listen, and not to boost my own thing. Like I'm not listening because I have any power in that. That's not me, because I can tell you right now, my wife would tell you that don't have that power. But it makes someone feel like loved. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, I think that's what most people, whether they know it or not, really want, is to be truly fully known for who they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of problems and pain come from not being known and feeling alone in who you are, and not actually being known for who you are.
Certainly where most of my problems come from.
Yeah, or even just being scared to be known.
Yeah. So I hope like this can be a place that people feel it. Last show they walked out and they're like, I feel the energy it's just a different type of show. And like, I hope that's what gets felt when people walk in. And it's the spirit. Like, it sounds cuckoo bananas to most people, but it's the spirit.
Yeah.
And when people say, hey, I feel it, what is that? That's what we're trying to call people to. Like, they walk up to you and I feel it. What is that? I want to know more. Then you can talk to them about it.
Yes.
Because when Pharaoh hardened his heart, it wasn't like Moses could walk up to him and be like, I'm going to tell you about God.
Well, he did.
He did.
A little bit. He did.
He did. But he couldn't have had a one-to-one that's going to change him. Because God hardened Pharaoh's heart too. Like, he was allowing it to happen. So, like, none of us are Pharaoh anymore. Go talk to the president, I guess. But, they have to soften their heart and have their heart be softened. And then you can talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to think about.
Yeah. So there's a lot to think about.
It's good, man. I'm looking forward to what happens here the next year with these shows.
Yeah. Me too.
It's gonna be cool to see.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. Like I think all of us have like, what are we supposed to do with our lives? And this hobby is like, a lot of people really want to like breed reptiles for a living. And I think I wanted that for a while, but I don't think that sermon to people in the way that he was calling me to. So I think the reptiles sort of didn't ever really work that well to be my main living. And then the shows, like it's an opportunity for me to love people. And to love people that can be really hard to love. Like when you have as many people come through the door, it's hard to love those people. But I think it's given me that opportunity. I'm not going to do the best. Trust me. If you walk up to me and I'm stressed and I do something that doesn't seem, you didn't love on me very well today, that's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of me. But I think that like God was calling me to something that was going to be to love more people instead of like people that are giving me a lot of money for arbitrary reptiles. I love those reptiles. Trust me. Troy will tell you I'm a nerd beyond words with reptiles, but they're arbitrary.
Thanks for calling me into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Nah. Oh, I didn't call you into it.
Well, thanks for being faithful to listen to the call that you were asked to call me to.
Yeah, yeah. I need to be better at being like, yeah, not trying to deter it, but thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you at one of these All-American Reptile and Plant Expos in the near future, either the North Carolina show that's coming up this weekend or the one in Kansas is coming in December. And then, of course, back here in Denver next spring. So it's a good vibe of these shows. Come on down. And then next week, see you for another interview right here on the Redline Report. Y'all take care. I don't think the snapping works like it did when it was Triple B TV. I think the snapping was a Triple B TV thing, and I tried to bring the snap back. I don't think we're going to be snapping because it's just not. It's a different intro. It's just not quite the same. We're evolving.